Oh, what the
They swear the clip was never supposed to see daylight, but here we are staring at the digital equivalent of a nuclear meltdown. A grainy late-night recording that allegedly shows Chrisean Rock going full gladiator mode on Coi Leray is crawling across the internet like a cursed file that refuses to die. And let's be honest, this isn't just drama. This makes the Kardashians look like quiet librarians on meditation day. Whispers turned into shock, shock turned into chaos, and now everyone with Wi-Fi is questioning reality. Some say it's edits. Some say it's AI. Others swear this is the raw, unfiltered moment when two music worlds collided like a head-on collision with no brakes. The tension is insane. The comments are volcanic. And every frame feels like it's hiding a secret nobody's ready to admit. Whether it's a stunt, a setup, or the digital apocalypse misfiring in 4K. One truth is unavoidable. That footage has cracked open a scandal so wild it has celebrities going silent and fans acting like forensic analysts at 3 a.m. So buckle up. Because if this leak is what it looks like, we're stepping into a scandal that might burn the whole internet down. It all started with a single clip that looked like it crawled out of the dark side of the music industry. The file had no timestamp, just blurry silhouettes, neon lights bleeding through a hallway, and voices echoing like someone forgot to mute the universe. Rumor has it the moment Chrisean Rock and Coi Leray crossed paths was the same moment fans felt the internet tilt sideways. People swear they heard someone mumble Chrisean's name right before everything snapped like a guitar string in a thunderstorm. What makes this leak so outrageous isn't just the shaky camera or the muffled yelling that crawls under your skin. It's the energy, the kind you only see before a boxing match, the heavy tension where nobody breathes because they don't know if they're watching a stunt or a raw meltdown. Voices overlap, someone gasps, and that's when shadows move in a way that sent every conspiracy page into cardiac arrest. Screenshots hit group chats, close-ups hit TikTok. And suddenly, what looked like a forgettable backstage moment transformed into the digital scandal nobody knew they were craving. Social media detectives immediately broke app rulers, contrast filters, and evidence charts you only see from people who haven't slept in 2 days. Some claim the posture, the hair, and that unmistakable energy could only belong to Chrisean. Others argue the height, shape, and walk pointed right at Coi. And no matter which theory they chose, every user online went full courtroom mode like a jury auditioning for an HBO special. The chorus of accusations, side-by-side photos, and dramatic zoom-ins could have powered half of Los Angeles on pure chaos alone. Behind the scenes, whispers grew into earthquakes. Fans asked why Coi looked tense earlier that night, replaying old interviews where she joked about tension in the industry. Suddenly, those harmless comments sounded like foreshadowing ripped from a Netflix script. Meanwhile, Chrisean's old viral moments got dragged back up like dusty files the internet refused to forget. Threads popped up with titles like "This explains everything," and the night it all broke loose, people became historians, theorists, and amateur detectives armed with slow-motion replays and a dangerous amount of confidence. But what made this leak even juicier were the alleged witnesses, who claimed they were near the hallway when the clip was recorded. One user swore they heard someone yelling "cut the cameras," which, of course, only poured gasoline on the wildfire. Another person insisted there was a struggle over a mic stand earlier that night, connecting dots that weren't even on the same page. That's when hashtags went nuclear and the clip exploded beyond fandoms, hitting gossip pages, music blogs, Reddit threads, and even a few suspicious live streams where creators acted like experts who had personally studied FBI footage. Nobody could ignore the body language in the shadows. The sudden movement, the shifting stance, the quick step forward that made people freeze their screens like they were witnessing a historic moment. Comments poured in faster than anyone could scroll. Some screamed it's staged, while others insisted this is the industry at war. And once people noticed the silhouettes leaning in, voices rising, and that split-second collision that looked like someone lost control, the storyline grew teeth. It didn't matter if the clip was real, fake, deep fake, or recycled footage from a forgotten rehearsal session. The scandal had already been born. Music insiders chimed in with cryptic posts that only made everything worse. Producers tweeted eye emojis. Engineers posted playlists full of songs about betrayal. Managers liked random comments without context, causing meltdowns among fans desperate for hidden meaning. Even meme pages got involved, posting fake confession screenshots and bold headlines like we all knew this day was coming. And once people started treating every frame like sacred evidence from a true crime documentary, there was no going back. Fans were fully invested, ready to swear oaths over blurry pixels. Meanwhile, older interviews resurfaced with Chrisean talking about competition and energy clashes in the industry. Clips of Coi discussing pressure, jealousy, and behind-the-scenes stress suddenly sounded like leaked audio from an emotional confessional booth. Nothing was confirmed, nothing was denied, yet everyone acted like they had stumbled into a classified archive that revealed secret alliances and explosive grudges nobody expected these two artists to share. Data analysts stitched video angles together like Hollywood forensic teams, convinced the truth was hiding somewhere between frames. Every platform became a courtroom. People examined shadows like they were fingerprints, studying hair movements like meteorologists analyzing storm patterns. Some paused the footage at the exact moment the silhouettes collided, pointing at blurred arms like prosecutors in a viral trial. Theories fed theories, outrage fed excitement, and the clip itself turned mythical, a ghostly piece of digital culture that felt too scandalous to be fake and too chaotic to be real. Whether it showed confrontation, tension, or just two people passing too close in a crowded hallway didn't matter. Viewers decided the narrative for themselves, and the most twisted part? The silence. Neither Chrisean nor Coi spoke a word about it at first. No denial, no explanation, no dismissive joke. That silence slapped fans harder than any quote ever could. Because when celebrities don't rush to kill a rumor, the rumor grows horns and wings. People took that silence as confirmation, acting like the truth sat simmering under VIP lights while management teams scrambled behind velvet curtains. Group chats lit up with screenshots of that silence, captioned with "No comment speaks volumes," and "If nothing happened, why is nobody talking?" As hours turned into days, the hallway clip morphed into a cultural event. Reaction videos gained thousands of views. Dramatic narrations popped up with spooky music. Threads analyzed vocal tones in the background like forensic scientists examining crime audio. And slowly, the scandal evolved into something bigger than a single clip. It became a snowball of suspicion rolling downhill, picking up every rumor, every tweet, every grainy still frame until it felt like the universe itself was conspiring to paint this moment as the clash of two music worlds caught in the wild but buried under all the chaos. Fan theories and digital overanalysis was one undeniable reality. People wanted this scandal. They craved something messy, shocking, and unbelievably dramatic. They wanted a storyline that broke the quiet, shook the system, and reminded everyone why the internet is addicted to chaos. Whether the leak showed a heated argument, a staged rehearsal moment, or nothing more than a misinterpreted shadow, the world had already chosen its narrative. And for millions glued to their screens, this was the moment Chrisean Rock and Coi Leray, real or not, became the center of the most electrifying digital scandal of the year. The night the clip went viral, something strange happened. Instead of dying out like every recycled rumor that crawls through trending tabs, this one mutated. Fans started digging into old social clips, stage footage, backstage walkthroughs, and any moment the two artists were ever within 5 miles of each other. Someone posted a slowed-down video of Coi passing Chrisean in a festival, quarter months earlier, and claimed they saw it electric. Tension crackled like a loose wire. Whether it was real tension or just the world losing its mind didn't matter. People believed it, and that was enough to turn speculation into the internet's new religion. Then came the memes. Twitter felt like a digital carnival where everyone suddenly became a comedian, analyst, therapist, or professor of chaotic energy. One meme showed Coi with a detective hat and Chrisean with boxing gloves, captioned, One backstage networking goes off-script. Another showed fans with magnifying glasses crawling across the grainy hallway like crime scene text desperate to identify a shadow. People laughed, theorized, argued, and reposted. But underneath all the jokes was a collective scream. Nobody wanted to miss whatever this story mutated into next. Celebrities started chiming in, and that's when the scandal evolved into something almost cinematic. Influencers posted cryptic responses like, "Energy transfers for a reason, and everything comes out eventually." A rapper with millions of followers tweeted an emoji of two eyes and a popcorn bucket, and it instantly hit millions of screens like a siren. Fans swore it meant something. They treated every emoji like encrypted Morse code, convinced these reactions were insider confessions stitched together in plain sight. Talk shows and livestream hosts couldn't resist the bait. They opened broadcasts, whispering dramatically, replaying the blurry footage, pausing on silhouettes, speculating about motives and secret grudges. One host even claimed there had been industry whispers for months about two young artists on the verge of combusting. And whether that sentence meant anything concrete or just sounded juicy didn't matter. Viewers were hooked. The clip was no longer a clip. It was now the ignition point of an entire fictional conspiracy that made even the wildest Hollywood plotlines look shy. Old music award appearances were dissected. Glances were reinterpreted. Accidental shoulder brushes from concerts suddenly looked like prophetic warnings. People swore Chrisean's laugh during one performance sounded too sharp, and Coi's expression in another went too still. Fans spun narratives out of microseconds, convinced they were reading hidden hieroglyphics written in body language. Someone even charted a timeline of tension, complete with arrows, timestamps, and dramatic red circles, as if they'd uncovered a psychological thriller disguised as pop culture history. A rumor spread that the clip came from a private after-party where cameras were supposedly banned. Then another rumor claimed it was from rehearsal corridors hours before an award show. A third insisted it was actually a deleted phone video from someone who worked security. Every theory sounded more theatrical than the last, but that only fueled the wildfire. Because nothing spreads faster than the idea that someone tried to hide something. And nothing tastes sweeter to the internet than the thought that they've cracked open a vault someone desperately wanted sealed. Then came the edits. Fan pages uploaded stabilized slow-motion versions, brightness-boosted overlays, and high-contrast silhouettes that still revealed absolutely nothing. But everyone acted like it showed everything. Users posted dramatic captions like, "Look at the momentum shift," and "The stance says it all," as if they'd graduated from an invisible academy of hallway shadow psychology. And people applauded them, convinced they were watching the world's first digital forensic thriller unfold in the form of a TikTok analysis. Real. Music bloggers ran headlines dripping with drama. The night everything boiled over, backstage heat finally caught on camera. Did industry pressure push to artists to the edge? None of it confirmed or denied anything, but every article felt like a match dropped into gasoline. They quoted anonymous insiders who sounded suspiciously like imaginative fans wearing trench coats of confidence. And every vague description, every slippery hint, every carefully worded line pumped the adrenaline of viewers who wanted this scandal to be larger than logic. People began drawing pop culture parallels so wild they could have been written in neon. They compared the hallway clash to Beyoncé's elevator mystery, Nicki versus Cardi energy, Taylor versus Kanye tension, even celebrity feuds from the early 2000s that social media never let die. The clip became the newest ghost story told by ring lights and phone screens, squeezed through filters and dramatic music until it felt less like a backstage moment and more like an untamed cinematic climax that accidentally leaked into the real world. Influencers interviewed each other about the footage. Fan podcasts tore it apart frame by frame like legal evidence. And the more people talked, the more the story ballooned, not because it contained truth, but because it fed the global addiction to drama wrapped in mystery. Nobody cared that the shadows were abstract. Nobody cared about context, time, or location. They cared about the thrill. They cared about the possibility that two rising stars collided in a moment so raw, so intense, so unexpected that only a phone camera in the wrong hands could spill it to the world. Even music producers and dancers who had never worked with either artist found themselves sucked into conspiratorial interviews. They made educated guesses, emotional guesses, and outright fictional guesses about how successful artists might feel about pressure, competition, style overlaps, or fan comparisons. And the audience devoured every word like holy scripture. They turned vague commentary into sharp accusations, blurry frames into shocking proof, and every angle into evidence that there had to be something deeper. Beneath the surface, the strangest twist came when fans started editing fake audio over the clip to reveal what was said. Some sounded like arguments, others sounded like sarcastic banter, and a few were so dramatic they could have been rejected movie dialogue. But people listened anyway, analyzing voice tones like opera critics searching for hidden meanings in a single note. Someone even claimed one phrase sounded like "you tried it," launching an entire thread of speculation about ego, influence, and imaginary insults passed between silhouettes. That's when the conspiracy reached maximum volume. Users insisted rival labels were secretly feuding, that stylistic competition had sparked jealousy, or that both artists were caught in an invisible tug-of-war over attention and spotlight. Theories piled into mountains with no foundation, built from fragments that stretched reality until it creaked. And the more exaggerated the narrative became, the more subscribers channels gained, the more gossip outlets fed the beast, and the more the clip transformed into a cultural sensation nobody could untangle. Because that's the twisted beauty of scandal culture. The actual truth doesn't matter once the audience decides what they want to believe. The hallway clip could have shown an argument, a debut rehearsal moment, or to strangers passing in the wrong lighting. But the world chose chaos. They chose tension. They chose the myth that two rising artists collided like rebellious planets in the same orbit. And once the story reached that level of dramatic hunger, no clarification could kill it. When silence continued from both artists, the world lost its mind. Fans assumed the quiet was strategic, that statements were being drafted behind studio curtains, that lawyers and managers were whispering through tight phone calls. They expected an official denial, an explosive livestream, a cryptic tweet, or even a short message saying, "Relax, it wasn't us." But when nothing came, the silence wasn't neutral anymore. It became a character, a villain, a threat, a signal. A drumbeat echoing through every comment, every repost, every theory. And by that point, the clip was more than footage. It was a cultural firework detonating in slow motion. Theories became myths. Myths became arguments. And arguments became obsession. Because as outrageous as the storyline was, everyone secretly wanted it to be true. Not because they wanted chaos between artists, but because nothing electrifies the internet like drama wrapped in mystery and served on a blurry platter of adrenaline. Days passed, and what should have faded into the digital trash pile instead hardened into a cultural fixation. The hallway clip gained an almost supernatural presence online. It wasn't just content anymore. It became a symbol of every unspoken rivalry, every backstage whisper, every fan-fueled theory about artists who never seem allowed to exist without someone imagining tension. The silence from Chrisean and Coi transformed into the oxygen that kept the scandal alive. Every hour without a statement felt like another headline, another twist, another invisible confession. Commentators started treating the footage like an unsolved case that demanded closure. And the aftermath spiraled into an even bigger spectacle than the clip itself. Music reviewers uploaded entire breakdown videos analyzing how the rumor alone was shifting perception. They claimed it exposed the industry's hunger for chaos, the public's thirst for friction, and the way audiences turned artists into characters inside stories they never signed up to star in. Their tone suggested we weren't just spectators, we were accomplices in building a narrative out of echoes and silhouettes. Even without proof, speculation hit career reputations like silent tremors. Some fans claimed Coi looked more distant in her new live performances, reading insecurity into every casual move. Meanwhile, clips of Chrisean laughing with friends were dissected like psychological evidence that she was masking stress. Entire comment sections turned into amateur therapy circles, convinced these micro moments were fallout from the fictional hallway collision. It didn't matter if those assumptions held a molecule of truth. The audience didn't want truth. They wanted the storm. Rumors of behind-the-scenes meetings spread next. Posts circulated saying label reps were debriefing the situation or planning the media response. None of it came from verified sources. But people repeated these claims with the same confidence someone might recite textbook facts. Even neutral silence became suspicious. If it didn't happen, people said, "Why hasn't anyone just said so?" That question echoed through the digital world like a deer, feeding the scandal's heartbeat and turning uncertainty into spectacle. Public perception became its own battlefield. Streams jumped. Playback numbers rose. Entire fan bases split into it happened, and it didn't factions like rival political groups. Debates flared into arguments. Comment moderators struggled to keep up. And in the world of public perception where rumors travel faster than truth and mystery counts as currency, both artists found their names floating in headlines they never asked for. The clip didn't need clarity to cause impact. It only needed eyes, noise, and curiosity. And it had millions of all three. A major twist came when some creators began pushing a new narrative. Maybe this wasn't a scandal at all, but a test. A social experiment. A hidden camera stunt. A teaser for an upcoming collaboration. Suddenly, the hallway clip wasn't evidence, it was marketing, foreshadowing, symbolism. People invented reasons like a novelist trying to justify plot twists. They decided the footage was intentional, leaked on purpose, strategically dropped to stir chaos and break the internet's peace on command. And like every conspiracy built on desire instead of fact, the theory spread faster than common sense. If the fight storyline wasn't true, then the leak was genius. If it was true, it was explosive. And if it was neither, the mystery was even more addictive. Because ambiguity is irresistible. Ambiguity gave the public room to project every fantasy, fear, and thrill onto two artists who never even acknowledged the storm. The real scandal wasn't the clip. It was the way the world couldn't let go of it. The hallway footage didn't need clarity, it became whatever people wanted it to be. Once the conspiracy hit that level, the consequences took on a life of their own. Fan pages built entire timelines tracking energy shifts between the two artists, quoting unrelated interviews as proof of some deeper fracture. Podcasts ran multi-episode breakdowns. Comment sections filled with heated debates that sounded like court testimony from a trial that never existed. The hallway clip became a ghost, haunting live streams, captions, and headlines. And even when other trending chaos tried to steal attention, this one lingered like it had claws in the collective imagination. Whispers turned heavier. Some fans began worrying that the scrutiny might damage relationships, collaborations, or reputations. Others argued that the scandal actually made both artists look mysterious and powerful because anything that carries that much speculation must be glamorous. It became the digital crown no one asked to wear. One artist painted as fierce and explosive, the other portrayed as calm and unshaken. Both turned into archetypes in a story that only existed online. Critics argued the rumor said more about us than them, how quickly people weaponize imagination, and how little proof we need to build legends. Industry insiders eventually started dropping statements built of smoke and puzzle pieces. Someone hinted that backstage spaces are always full of tension. Another muttered that creative circles clash all the time. Neither comment referenced the clip directly, but that didn't matter. Fans took vague sentences, stretched them like rubber bands, and snapped them into confirmation that the hallway incident shaped something larger. And once the public started treating hazy quotes as real evidence, the scandal became bulletproof. But here's the irony that hit hardest. As big as the rumor became, it never defined either artist. Their releases still charted. Their interviews continued. Their presence online remained magnetic. If anything, the imaginary scandal amplified their mystique, making the world stare harder, listen closer, and wait longer for clarity. Some started saying the silence made them look unstoppable, untouchable, icons who didn't need to address noise. Because legends don't bow to shadows. And after all the noise, theories, edits, memes, celebrity reactions, imaginary eyewitness accounts, and armchair forensic breakdowns, the moment people feared the most finally arrived. The scandal didn't explode. It didn't resolve. It just hovered. The hallway clip remained the blurry, mysterious artifact it started as. No confirmations, no denials, just silence. A silence that somehow felt louder than any statement could ever be. And the public learned a strange truth in that quiet. Sometimes the unknown is more powerful than anything revealed. Months later, the footage still resurfaces like a digital ghost. New fans discover it and spiral through the same rabbit hole. Old fans revisit it and shake their heads, laughing at how wild the internet became over a few shaky seconds of light and shadow. And even though everyone knows deep down the story was built on fiction, uncertainty, imagination, and collective projection, a small part of the audience still wonders. Because curiosity doesn't die. Curiosity rewrites itself every time the clip is shared. In the end, the scandal left an unforgettable mark not because of violence, rivalry, or even truth. It left a mark because it proved how powerful a story can become when the audience desperately wants it to exist. The hallway clip became a mirror reflecting the world's obsession with mystery, chaos, and dramatic conflict. It reminded every viewer that perception can create legends out of rumors, and that even the faintest shadow can be sculpted into a spectacle when millions of eyes look long enough. So the aftermath wasn't ruined reputations or scorched careers. It was the realization that in the digital age, reality bends, stories stretch, and sometimes the wildest scandal doesn't need facts, it only needs fascination. Because even when the truth is unknown, the myth never fades. It lingers in pixels, echoes in theories, and reverberates through conversations like a rumor that refuses to grow old. And that's the strangest twist of all. The clip mattered less than the world's reaction to it. The real scandal wasn't the footage or the shadows. It was the frenzy, the obsession, the hunger to believe we saw something explosive. And as long as people keep watching, debating, reposting, and whispering, the legend of that hallway leak will never truly die. It will remain the fictional scandal that proved one thing with blinding clarity: the internet never needs certainty to burn. It only needs curiosity. So there it is. The hallway clip that broke logic, hijacked the internet, and turned two silhouettes into the most dissected fictional scandal of the year. A moment so blurry, so chaotic, so deliciously mysterious that people turned pixels into prophecy and shadows into mythology. And we still don't know what really happened, which might be the most iconic part of all. Because in a world addicted to drama, sometimes the rumor burns brighter than the truth ever could. If you made it this far, you're clearly built for chaos, conspiracy, and a storyline that refuses to sit quietly in the corner. So you already know what comes next. Smash that like button like it owes you money. Hit subscribe like you're slamming a vault door on a scandal nobody's supposed to hear. And light up the comments with your wildest theories, because this story might be fictional, but the internet's imagination never sleeps. Tell me what you think the hallway clip really showed. Was it tension, staging, a PR stunt gone cinematic? Or was it just two silhouettes caught in the perfect storm of speculation? Drop your thoughts, your conspiracies, your sarcasm, and your funniest takes, because nothing fuels digital legends faster than a comment section on fire. And don't wander too far, because scandals don't hibernate here. They reload, they evolve, they lurk in drafts and leaks, waiting to explode into the next viral meltdown. If today's saga proves anything, it's that this place runs on shockwaves, whispers, and stories that feel too wild to ignore. So stay locked in, stay curious, and remember, this is Scandal Spark, where rumors roar, mysteries grow teeth, and the internet's imagination never knows when to quit. Imagination never knows when to quit.